"Daddy, she looks hungry. Can I share my food for her?" said the little girl to the single dad CEO. Andrew Miller, a 38-year-old tech CEO, looked up from the food truck table where he sat with his 4-year-old daughter, Ellie, her small finger pointed across the street toward a young woman slumped against a light post. The woman's blonde hair was tangled, her clothes worn, her face pale with exhaustion. She looked like she hadn't eaten in days, yet her eyes still carried a flicker of dignity. Andrew hesitated, but Ellie's innocence broke through his reservations. She climbed down from her seat, carrying half her sandwich in both hands. The woman startled but accepted it, her voice soft and trembling. "Thank you. You're very kind." Ellie grinned. "My name's Ellie. This is my daddy." Andrew nodded. "I'm Andrew." The woman hesitated, almost embarrassed. "Claire." Soon Claire was sitting with them, carefully eating as if every bite mattered. She spoke haltingly, as though unsure she deserved conversation. "I wasn't always like this," she murmured. "I grew up in a small town. My parents owned a bookstore. I wanted to be an artist, but after a car accident, I lost them. I came here chasing dreams, and I ended up with nothing. For almost a year, I've been on the streets." Andrew listened quietly, his chest tightening. Ellie reached across the table, taking Claire's hand with childlike certainty. "You don't have nothing. You have us." Claire's eyes filled. It had been months since anyone had touched her with kindness. When they finished eating, Andrew spoke firmly. "You can't stay out here tonight. I have a guest room. Come with us." Claire shook her head quickly. "I don't want pity." "It's not pity," Andrew said. "It's safety for you and for Ellie, who won't forgive me if I don't ask." Claire resisted, but finally agreed. That evening she stood awkwardly in his warm home, staring at the framed photos of Ellie and the canvases that leaned against the hallway wall. "You paint?" she asked softly. "My late wife did," Andrew replied. His voice dropped. "She passed away 3 years ago. I kept her canvases. Couldn't throw them away." Claire touched the corner of a blank one. "Do you mind if I try?" That night, while the house slept, she painted. By morning, a vivid scene of Ellie at the park filled the canvas alive with color, tender and bright. When Andrew saw it, his throat tightened. "Claire, it's beautiful." For the first time in years, his home didn't feel so heavy. Days turned into weeks. Claire cooked with them, painted, and laughed with Ellie. The little girl clung to her as if she had always belonged. Andrew found himself drawn to Claire's resilience. She had endured so much, yet her gentleness remained. She admired his devotion as a father, his ability to carry grief while still giving love. But whispers soon stirred outside the safety of their walls. Photos of Claire leaving Andrew's house surfaced online. Tabloids sneered. The CEO and the street girl. At the office, colleagues speculated cruelly. Claire felt the stares, the judgment. One night, she packed her small bag. "I don't want to ruin your reputation," she whispered. "Ellie deserves a life without scandal." Andrew's voice cracked. "Don't go. We can face this." But Claire shook her head, kissed Ellie's forehead as she slept, and slipped out into the night. The house felt hollow without her. Ellie cried for days, asking why Claire had left. Andrew threw himself into work, but couldn't shake the emptiness. Meanwhile, Claire drifted again from shelter to street. She told herself leaving was for the best, but every sketch she drew carried Ellie's smile, Andrew's steady eyes, the warmth she had lost. Weeks later, at a charity gala Andrew hosted, fate intervened. Claire had volunteered quietly at the event, serving drinks in the background. She kept her head down, hoping he wouldn't notice. But Andrew's speech faltered when he spotted her. His eyes locked on hers, as if no one else in the room existed. Andrew set down the microphone and walked off the stage, his footsteps echoing in the stunned silence. He crossed the room, stopping in front of Claire, who stood frozen with a tray in her hands. "This woman," he said, his voice steady, "changed my life. She brought light back into my daughter's world. She gave us family again." Gasps rippled through the audience as Andrew knelt on one knee. Ellie peeked from behind the curtain, holding up a new crayon drawing, this time with 4 stick figures holding hands beneath the sun. "Clare Harper," Andrew said, emotion breaking through. "Will you marry me?" Claire's breath caught. The room blurred with tears. "Yes," she whispered. The ballroom erupted in applause. For once, the whispers weren't cruel. They were celebratory. Months later, their home was alive with laughter. Photos lined the walls, birthdays, painting sessions, family outings. Ellie proudly told anyone who would listen, "This is my mommy now." Claire had her studio back, her brushes, her colors. Andrew had a partner who understood both loss and healing. And Ellie had the family she had wished for, with a simple act of kindness. All of it had begun with a sandwich, a child's compassion, and the courage to see someone not for what they had lost, but for who they were.